we are saved by God's mercy and grace, which brings us to faith, we are certainly not saved by works. This is the argument that Paul has been building up throughout all of Romans, and then especially as we get into Romans 9 through 11. It even more clearly points to the fact that it is God's mercy. Because what Paul says is that if it were just up to us, we would all run away from God. That we would reject him, we'd rebel against him, and we would be dead in our trespasses. In fact, we are dead in our trespasses, and we can't choose God. But God, at the beginning of time, predestined those who would be saved. So out of his mercy, he works in the hearts of some people to bring them to that faith. So for the people whose hearts he doesn't work in, they are given justice because they have sinned, and they have chosen to go away from God. So he gives them over to the lusts of their hearts, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, to quote Romans, I forget what chapter that was. But it's God saying, fine, you reject me, I'll let you reject me. But for these people, my elect who I've chosen, I'm going to work in their hearts to bring them to faith. And he could give them justice because they don't deserve to be brought to salvation. But instead, he chooses to give them mercy. So in Romans 11, we have this verse where Paul says, there is a remnant who has been chosen and saved by grace. And then he very clearly puts forward this idea that if it is grace, then it is not works. Because if it is by works, then it would no longer be grace. Because if you work your way to God through doing things, you're trying to build up your own righteousness. But as Paul's clearly explained, none of us are righteous. We can't earn our way to heaven. However, when God gives us his grace, that is him saying, yeah, you can't do it. I'm going to do it for you. I've chosen you. That's why you are being saved, not because of anything you have done. And when we put our faith in Jesus Christ, through his work on the cross, our debt is paid, our sins are forgiven, and then his righteousness is put onto us. So that's a clear part of what Paul's been talking about in Romans. It's by whose righteousness are you saved? Is it through your own righteousness, through the good things you've done? Certainly not. It is through Christ's righteousness, through his perfect sinless life, that is put onto you when you believe in him with all your heart.